Okay, Mister. I'm gonna make a review of a video game, so I don't know if it's right or not. Then I'll proceed. Then the game is named BioShock. But what is BioShock? On the first place, it is a first-person game based on a dystopian world or a city, more or less, by its predecessor System Shock 2, which is on a spaceship and stuff like that. The game is developed by 2K Games and it is considered a game of the year for its art and their designs and CGI. Um, Basically, the adventure of this game starts on Rapture, which is a city under the sea, and to be more saga-like under the Atlantic Ocean. Um, in there, you start to navigate on the city, and you encounter some sort of people that used a lot of plasmids, which are um, a DNA modifications and stuff. So the enemies in common are the splicers, who is the people that consume a lot of these DNA modifiers that are called plasmids, and these modifiers consume atom, which is gathered by sea slugs where they were found on the sea. By the following rapture, the city was founded by Andrew Ryan with a crew of remarkable people, um, leading him to make his utopia and dream that non-cultural or religious, uh, I don't know, called like crew or some sort of group could govern on that kind of place. He has a song with Jasmine Jolie, which is one of the Rapture ladies that everyone loved, and they did experiments on his son, and this comes to the Big Daddies and Little Sisters. A Big Daddy is one of the biggest foes on those games because of their power and their strength. But basically, if you don't do anything to them, they won't hurt you unless you attack them first. And they are the Little Sisters keepers. The Little Sisters are girls that were modified to gather Adam through corpses that were found the Rapture, on Rapture City, and gather it to get it to a bank. And these girls are commanded by Bridget Cinema, who made experiments on the children. And the Big Daddies were workers on the first instance, but they were modified to follow the path to protect a girl in order to gather the Adam through the city. This leads to Frank Fontaine, who is the owner of Adam. Andrew Ryan and Frank Fontaine don't have a good relation between work and companies and stuff. So he's the main rival to Andrew Ryan's developments and stuff. So basically, he wants to conquest the Rapture to get the all the atom, which is the power of the city. By that, it means that all the splicers that are around the city are commanded by Frank Fontaine, and those splicers are going against you in different ways, which is kind of hard because they get a lot harder and harder. But in either way, he becomes a great part of the game because he's the last boss. And on the final showdown, you face three stages where, depending on what you did in the game, by making decisions and stuff, On the first one, you get the good ending, which is saving the kids from experiments and stuff, and get to the surface. On the second, you get the key to the city, and you command now splicers to get a submarine that goes to the surface, gathering a nuclear bomb. And on the third ending, it's basically the same as the second, but with a darker tone and not a good voice. So every decision that you make on this game um, reminds on how the people is making decisions and see if they are right or not. We don't always get to know if the things we do are right or not, as it seems to be, because we think we are right, but for the people we are not most of the time. So yeah, I like this game a lot. It gave me a good reflection about making decisions and being a good and a bad person, or just being a neutral one, which is good because it leads to many answers and paths that I can go through my life. That doesn't mean that video games aren't bad or not. Uh, but in any ways, I guess a video game can give you a lot of good stuff, not always bad stuff.